wouldn't be on the camera, but this way we can you can listen back in YouTube. My channel is called healnow.tv. I had this ability when I was a kid, when I was very, very young, when I was 8 years old. But in India, um, they don't, I mean, I don't know, that day maybe my parents are not open to those. And they said that I'd be considered crazy. So they said, don't talk stupid. So,
Yeah. So
so
you had to
I
hide
think
it or something.
I'm not hiding it, they kind of didn't want to validate that's normal. So I'll just
Yeah.
keep quiet, I mean, it's not a big deal.
No,
They said don't bring it up
how'd
as a
you
conversation.
how'd you find out that you had the power to do it?
No, it's not even find out. I kind of knew. My teacher told me inside. See, you have guidance. So they said you need to become a healer, and I didn't say that I had this ability. I said, hey, mom, I need to become a healer, and she says, to become a healer, you need to become a doctor first. And I immediately knew she has no clue what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So it's like you see, she didn't comprehend, right? So
Yeah.
I don't challenge. Like in India, you never challenge your parents.
All
Mom's word is God's word. So
right.
so you just keep quiet, and you knew you don't want to pursue that. And if I say something, I'll be back. Say, don't talk stupid, so you don't bring it up again, right? That doesn't mean I don't know what I'm doing, but you know that it scares them rather than me,
Yeah.
and you want to be respectful, So just so that's the way I did it. But
Until you came here and then you started to explore it.
I think even there, my patient, I was a doctor there too.
Oh,
so
really?
I think when they die, I can feel their spirit being restless for 2 3 days after
Really?
they leave. And my sister said sometimes at night my body will jump. Sometimes I'll stay up the whole night. I don't think they related. My mom couldn't understand it, so I didn't want to confide in her I what she cannot even comprehend. But she knew that something was different about me, and she respected and gave me my space. I could relate to people differently, but one thing I always could relate to was sense of humor. And I kind of played it funny.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Make it easy.
yes. So I just kind of pretended that I'm dreaming or something like that.
Sounds silly.
Yes. So that's how I coped. But when I came to this country, I started working with that energy, because I remembered suddenly one day, I think it was when my second son was born in 2000. It occurred to me actually, hey, I forgot I needed to be a healer. And so I literally it opened, when I was ready, like they say, when you're ready the teacher will come. So essentially I became ready, and then I started getting more guidance. And so one day I was sitting, guidance I get from so many places, people, beings, it doesn't matter. I was sitting underneath, in New Bedford, there is a place. His name is Alan Haskell. Have you heard about him? He, I wrote a book about him, the boy who played with plants. And I was driving by, and it was very attractive. All the birds were meeting, like you could see them talking. So I stopped by, and when I went in, they don't even have a board. That was his nursery. They shut it down. I think after he died, I don't know whether they went into bankruptcy or something and shut down now. So I went in, and there was a katsura tree. I don't know whether you've heard about katsuras. Katsura will look like a weeping willow. It'll be weepy, but the leaves will be like this. It will have a round leaf. Very pretty tree. So weeping katsura tree. I was sitting down there, and I was feeling very connected to that space. And I think I was talking to somebody afterwards, my colleague, and she was a healer. I forgot how I even. Oh, we had a conference about a lab workshop, and she came about nutrition. We connected, and I was saying I'm a clairvoyant, and she was saying, "Oh, I work with kinesiology. I can test people's energy." So they will test like, have you heard about them? Kinesio
Yeah.
technique. They'll tap you, and if you're weak, they'll go down. And she says, my body is temple of God. For that word, your body feels weak. So I said, that's right. I said, actually, I'll rephrase that word, and I said, I should say, my body's home of God, because I always felt homeless inside. I felt displaced. Was even at home in India, I was out of sorts, right? Like I was a square peg. I couldn't fit in.
Yeah.
So that allowed me to never engage with my body because I felt disconnected. You know, I'm sure this country also many people say like they don't feel inside. So I decided, okay, I'm going to work with that phrase, my body is home of God, because I really need to come home first for me to even accept this body. So she said, what would one thing you will do to make you look like you came back home? What is one thing visually that looked like you came back home? I said, you know what? The only thing I felt so attracted to was that Katsura tree. And I said, I'm going to plant a Katsura tree. That's all I just said. Like, in energy, I let it out. And so she says, okay. She says, the minute you feel your body is home of God, buy a Katsura tree. Night, I was almost falling asleep and I was putting myself, like when you're like slowing down your brain, it's like almost like a semi meditative state. And I was imagining again my spirit sitting down under the Katsura tree, how I did daytime. And I was imagining that space, and that time I didn't even anticipate the Katsura. Immediately the branch came in and it gave me a hug.
Yeah.
And that was not even my thinking. You understand? So that's how the plants communicate, because I was not even expecting that. They blew my mind.
Yeah.
So that's how the other side will relate. The other side acknowledges.
That's cool.
And I was amazed and I fell in love. So next day, actually, I went and bought the Katsura. But I think what happened is she's very sensitive, the Katsura plant. It was $50, that tree. But I moved her because next year after winter over, she's very sensitive. And I didn't realize you couldn't move. So I moved her once, and I think it went to a shock. And
Yeah.
I no, she didn't die exactly. So I again moved her back, thinking she got into a shock. I should have left it alone. But I think it was like me, original placement, not really planning it well and putting it in the right place and moving her back and forth. I think she didn't winter over. So, and it was also a very bad winter. We went through some harsh winters, so I lost her, but I didn't bring her back again. I think it has. Then that nursery shut down anyway, so I couldn't find that plant. But it served a purpose. What I'm saying is it literally the acknowledgement itself was a validation that I need to work with them.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be part of a forest, and I wanted to evolve it in a way that I can learn from them how they group themselves, they grow and stuff. So I felt I can dedicate my life to something that I can also create here. And I told many patients, one of the things I got involved was micro shelters. Micro shelters you can create for $156. And many people say, oh, I'm homeless, nobody helps me, society doesn't care. And I tell them, I'll teach you. I said, you just need to show up. 25 people signed up, nobody showed up. I went and got all this and I put it together. The only thing is, I can just take this off and put a sleeping bag underneath and I can sleep here, okay?
Yeah.
And you just need a tarp on top, that's all. But people still feel society doesn't help. So since this is my micro shelter, the only thing I like is forest. So I said, why not do something that I can blatantly keep it? It's like they say in ancient wisdom, the best secret, you have to have it open. So when people keep on bringing 3, 4 bags, say I'm homeless, nobody helping me. Hello, look at it. But they don't want to look at it because they want society to pay for them. They want disability to pay for them. They want somebody else to be accountable. And And I'm telling them, how much you pay for drugs? They say, half of my disability money goes. Today, just now, I was speaking to the guy. He says for the first 3 weeks, he uses disability account. How long you been on disability? 7 years. Okay, so that's fine. But guess what? This is $250. He says, oh, this is a snake bed. I said, oh, yeah, you like to grow snake? Because the thing is, they don't even want to be respectful saying, what is it for? They come to a conclusion, they insult you. So that's the way they live. So I feel, instead of wasting my time educating them, I'm going to show them. It's like a museum. And if by chance somebody is smart enough to say, what can it be used for, instead of saying, is this? I say, oh, by the way, it can be a homeless shelter. But I'm doing it for forests. And a forest takes 3 years. It's a 3 year build. The first year it goes into sleep cycle. I should have done that with Kapsura. And then the second year they go into creep cycle. So the roots, that's when they feel safe, they expand. And the third year is leaf cycle. That's when it will grow. So this is year 2 of my project. So next year is when it will really take shape. But already I achieved more than last year, right? Like, so this is year 2, I'm getting better. And now grouping wise, I know which didn't winter over. Like many plants I lost. I had a very nice plant last year. Many things died over winter because it was too harsh. All this leaf fell down. And I feel right now I am doing plant selection because I want it to be hardy so that it's not going to be so dependent on me and it can survive a little bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that's where